Howdy and welcome back to my channel. I'll be doing another episode of World in Flames Collector's Edition, Days of Decision 3, Combined Gameplay through number 3. This is going to be the March-April 1941 turn. Yeah, the timer is definitely ticking down. Last turn we saw some really abysmal weather, I would say. Despite that, there was a bunch of sinkings in the Faroes Gap for Commonwealth convoys. Too bad for them. The Japanese actually got through with a half-decent attack for once. Good for them. What else did we see? I think the Germans aligned Turkey last turn, though not much happened due to the really atrocious weather down there. And I think that was about it. Oh, and we had some gear ups last turn. Both the US and the Soviets geared up. And we have bonus bid points for two major powers. Let me check that. Yes, two major powers. The Commonwealth will be getting bonus bid points, and Japan will be getting bonus bid points because they failed to get a political option last turn. And I think that's about it for summary. What I'd like to do to start off with is I'd like to start off by taking a look at the U.S. entry and see where we are right now. So let's go take a look at that. Okay, so for U.S. entry, for March-April 41, we have Germany is now at 63. We have Japan at 31, and we have Italy at 14.5. Now, the last time I did this calculation was November, December 40. So Germany has moved up 7 points. Japan has moved up 2 points, and Italy has moved up 3 points. Now, these numbers might get skewed downward a little bit this turn because we're going to have, they won't rise as fast, I should say. Because I'm anticipating that we're going to have at least one democracy gear up. And I don't know what if some of the other major powers will get political options that adversely affect this one way or the other. But the magic number that the U.S. is looking for is 80. And they're 16.5 away on being able to declare war on Germany. Now, as far as U.S. entry actions go, we've already got the first action that they can do, which was U.S. Option 9, East Coast Escorts. The next thing they're up for is U.S. played not Germany plus Italy's U.S. entry is greater than 65. Yes, it is. And Germany's U.S. entry is greater than 60. Yes, it is. So they can do naval patrol. This is going to be entry options 25, 29, and 38 in the WiFCE rulebook, which is repair Western Allied ships, North Atlantic escorts, and armed merchantmen. So I don't know if the U.S. will get to that or not this turn. I know they have a plan of what they want to do, but it is definitely a possibility. Japan, as far as Japan is concerned, they're looking for Fleet to Pearl first, and that's going to take U.S. entry of greater than 35 for the U.S. For the U.S. to pick that particular option. And of course, the good old oil embargo. That's going to be Japan's U.S. entry greater than 65, which is a cool. That's a ways off. That's a ways off. But you can see that now the U.S. is starting to get more and more involved in the war. So, now that we took a look at U.S. entry, let's go take a look at starting money. I got the starting money right here. We have for the March-April turn, we have Germany at -2, Japan at 0, Italy at 1, the Soviets at -2, the Commonwealth at -1. Yeah, that's correct. And the U.S. at 1, China at 0, and the Free French at -4. Alright, I've put bids in for the various major powers that want to actually try to get a political option this turn, so let's go take a look at that. We have the Commonwealth, Japan, Germany, and Italy all bidding 1, and the U.S. bidding 2. So let's go take a look and see how that's going to pan out on the political initiative track. Okay, we have the Commonwealth bidding 1. They're one of the 2 major powers that got bonus bid points from last turn, so they're going to get a +6. Because they're right up here with the Germans in the 6 box. That's going to give the, and they get a +2 for their 5th place position. That's going to give them a total of 9. They get first. The Japanese are bidding 1. They're getting 4 bonus bid points for their political effectiveness of 4. And they're in the 6th place. That's going to give them another 1. That'll be 6. That's going to put them in that 2nd. The U.S. is bidding 2. They're getting 3 for their 3rd place position. That's going to give them a 5. Can't do math. So that'll put them in at 3rd. Germany is bidding 1. They're getting +3. That's a 4. That'll put them in at 4th. And the Italians are bidding 1 with a +2 for 3. That'll put them in at 5th. First last card on the Commonwealth. Last card on the Italians. And for the non-bidding major powers, we have the Soviets at 4 for 6th, the Free French at 1 for 7th, and the Chinese at 0 for 8th. Alright, let's go. I'm going to pay for the bids, and then we're going to go and take a look at what the Commonwealth wants to do for a political option. Okay, the Commonwealth is going to gear up for their political option. They wanted to do it last turn, but they didn't quite get a chance to use this. So they do qualify for it. It's 41, which is the current year. So that's all set there. It's going to cost 10 money. There's a bunch of minor effects here, which a lot of them are not even going to take place because those minors are gone one way or the other. U.S. entry is going to be a +6. So like I mentioned before, that's going to impact U.S. entry for the fascist powers. And when I come back, take care of all that, we'll have the Commonwealth activate a minor. I think the Commonwealth would like to activate Greece. They don't have any particular points in Greece, but there's a -7 German there. So let's go over here and see how this is going to work out on the status display. We have a -1 Italy, and we have a -7 German. So the -1 Italian doesn't do anything, so we just get rid of that. -7 German. Now Germany is, you can see straight line. Germany is, that's basically going to drive it into this hex, down this row. So -7, that's basically going to be 3 hexes. 1, 2, let's see if we're still straight line. Yeah. 3. I guess, yeah, they probably could do that. 3. So that's it for that. The Commonwealth does not roll to end the political phase. So we will move on to Japan, and we will see what they're going to do. Japan's decided that she's going to try to demand Vichy territory. And she's going to demand the territory of French Indo-China. It does take a die roll. We need a 1. And it's a -1 per half. -1/2 per sea area or territory between the territory and being demanded in the Vichy home country. Well, there's 7.5. So that's going to be a -4. Japan is 2 initiative positions lower than the controlling major power, so that's going to be -6. Let's see, we are not in a different ideology, and we are not the Vichy major power's original owner. So we're going to have a -6 to the die roll. We need a 1, so anything 7 or under. And we need a 1, and that's actually what the Japanese rolled, was a 1. So they will secure Vichy. And there's 1 territorial in there, and I think, if I read the rules correctly, it stays, and I'm just going to swap it out with a Japanese one. I think that's how that works. If it don't, it don't. Whatever. That's what I'm going to do. And, okay, yeah, Japan does get to activate a minor, so when I come back, I'll have that, and then we'll roll to see if Japan ends the political phase right after. Alright, Japan's decided they're going to activate Mexico. So I'm going to grab the markers and come on over here to the status display. Right there. This is just to be more of a pain in the butt to America than anything else. So what do we got? We got a -2 Commonwealth. We got a 1 US. We got a 2 German. We got a 4 Japanese. And we got a 2 Chinese somehow. Okay. Alright, we're going to get rid of the 1 US because that's not going to do anything. Now, let's see here. Let's do the -2 Commonwealth. That's going to drive the marker. Now, let's not do that. Let's do the 2 German, I think. Right there. Then let's do the 2 Chinese. I'm going to move it here. Then I think we'll do the 2 Commonwealth. It's going to drive it here. And then we'll do the 4 Japanese. It's going to be 2 to go here. And shoot, we don't have quite enough to get inside the fascist ideology, but that's okay, because that should give the U.S. something to think about anyways. And the last thing that the Japanese are going to do, they're going to roll a die to see if they end the political phase. No, 10 does not do it. So we'll move on down to America. And let's go see what they're going to do. Okay, the U.S. is going to try to sign a minor alliance with Brazil. It's going to require a die roll. And it's modified as a +1 for each factory resource. They don't have any. The minor's willpower is a 4, so that's +4. Subtract the U.S. initiative position, which is 3, so that's a +1. Subtract the distance in hexes on the status display. There are 2 hexes separating them, so now we're down to a -1. So we need to roll 1 die, and we need to get better than a 0. So minus y, -1 to this die. A 2 is a 1, and that is more than a 0, so the U.S. will sign a minor alliance with Brazil. The treaty effects, I'll put all that out. The U.S. entry is on the treaty chart. And when I come back, I'll have the U.S. activate a minor. Okay, now the U.S. gets to activate a minor, and I think we're going to activate Brazil. I think this will pan out good for the U.S. I'll grab the markers. There's only 2 of them. We have a U.S. 3 and a Japanese 1. Well, the Japanese 1's not going to do anything, so we're just going to get rid of that. Now, the American 3. So we got Brazil here, and the U.S. is here. They just signed a minor alliance between the 2 of them. So, normally costs 2 for the hex and 1 for the boundary. That's 3. However, Brazil's moving towards the United States within our ideology. So that's going to subtract 1 from the cost. So it's going to cost 2 for this hex. Now again, normally it costs 2 for that hex, but you're subtracting 1, so that's going to cost 1. So a total of 3 points puts Brazil stacked with the United States. And the last thing we're going to do is the U.S. As soon as I can find the die, is we're going to roll a die to see if the U.S. ends the political phase. There has been 2 previous political options played. A7 does not do it. We will move down to Germany. Okay, I already know what Germany is going to do. They owe an align minor. Or minor joins in, rather. They owe that. So they're going to pay for that this turn. And they get to activate a minor. hit the activate a minor. That's the only thing they get to do. They already paid for it. All the influence and everything has already been put out. So Germany just needs to activate a minor. I think she's going to activate Yugoslavia. Let's grab the markers. Now, Yugoslavia has a treaty with the Soviets and with the Germans right now. So there's the German marker. There we go. Focus was out. We have a -2 Soviet and a 2 and a 1 German. I guess I should have, because I couldn't find a 3 at the time. Alright, so yeah. So the -2 Soviet, we'll do that first. Now, the Yugoslavia does have a treaty with the Soviet Union. So normally this would cost 3 for this hex. So now it's going to cost 4. So the -2 is not going to do anything. Now, the Germans also have a treaty with the Yugoslavians, and they can control Yugoslavia. So it will, the -1 for the hex does take effect. So it'll cost 2 for the hex, 1 for the boundary, -1 for the hex, +1 for moving away from a allied major power. So it will cost 3 to get in this hex. And that's all the points that the Germans have. But Germany's kind of happy with that. They are definitely moving Yugoslavia towards them. And the last thing the Germans going to do, how come I can't, there it is. Never find my dice. Don't matter if I just put them down. I'm going to roll a die to see if we end the political phase. And a 4. There's been 3 previous political options played, which is -3 to the die, but we still have that +1, so it doesn't quite do it. We move down to the Italians, and we're going to go see what the Italians want to do. Unfortunately, Italy can't do what she wanted to do because she's too far down on the initiative position table. She needed to be, well, she actually needed to be lower or further up on it. So what she's going to do is she's going to take increased bid points. It's not going to cost her anything, but it's going to give her double her political effectiveness and bonus bid points for next turn. So that's what she's going to do. There's no activating a minor or anything like that, so that's going to end the political phase for this turn. We're going to go over and take a look at reinforcements as soon as I pull them off the circle and arrange them. And then we're going to roll initiative and the weather, which is going to have a +3 to the die. I'm back in a second. Okay, the reinforcements for this turn are looking like this. We got a Turkish artillery unit. We got 1, 2, 3 German fighters. One of them are Romanian. 1, 2 German bombers. And we have a combat air group. The Germans have a battleship going into the construction pool. Put that over there. And I think they have, where is it? I think they have 4 pilots. So they got 1, 2, 3. They got 5 planes here. So I don't know what might be kept off map. I suspect the Romanian fighter. Okay, the Italians are getting a militia and a battleship going into the construction pool. The Japanese are getting an infantry army. 1, 2, 3, 4 combat air groups, 2 convoy points, a transport, heavy cruiser, a medium-sized carrier, and a carrier, the Tahoe, I guess, going into the construction pool. The Americans are getting a naval bomber. It's actually a half-decent one. Very limited range, though. 2 pilots, 2 combat air groups. I think I'm going to put them in the reserve pool. And 3 convoy points. The Free French are getting the Free French Syrian Cav. The Russians are getting a convoy point and an anti-aircraft division. Now, the reason that the Russians have been building convoy points is that they're not at war with the Japanese, at least not yet. It doesn't look like they're going to go to war with the Japanese. And they can use their convoy points to go get American build points when the time comes and be unmolested. And the Commonwealth is getting 6 convoy points, which they are much needed. All right, get these on the map, but first let's go roll initiative. And after we roll initiative, we'll roll the weather. I'm sure that will be fun. Let's see. The modifiers are +1 democracy, -1 the communists, and +2 for the fascists. All right. Grab the dice. We got white fascists, red communists, blue democracies. And the roll is 10, 8, 1. 10 for the communists. So the communists and the fascists are tied. Now the fascists went last turn, so they'll get the pick. And I think they probably March, April, looking at the weather, you need to get better than an 8 to have decent weather to do anything. So I think the fascists would like to go last again. And I think the communists are going to go second. And that's going to force the democracies into first. Now let's do the all-important roll. The weather roll from last turn's weather. And we got a +3. So we're going to roll a die and see what we get. It could either be garbage or it could be, well, it can't be complete garbage, but it could be pretty bad. A 4 becomes a 7. That's rain in the Arctic, rain in North Temperate, fair Mediterranean, fair North Monsoon, rain South Monsoon, and fair South Temperate. So I'll get that put down, I'll get that marked out, and the impulse marker will be moving up too. There's no modifier to the weather roll for next turn. So I'll take care of all that, and when we come back, we'll go over the first set of impulses. Probably the fascists are probably going to do something, I would assume, but we'll take a look at it when we get back. Okay, for the democracies impulse, the U.S. did a combined, the Commonwealth did a naval, and the Free French did a land. And basically the Free French moved some stuff around in Syria. The Commonwealth got all its ships out into the shipping zones, plus put the home fleet in the Bay of Biscay to try to bottle up the Germans. And that was about that. The Communists just moved a few units here and there, railed a couple units. And then we came over to the Fascists. The Germans took a combined, got the subs out in the Faros Gap. And what else did they do? The Italians are doing a naval. They basically got their fleets out into the Western Med. Also, they transported the German Rommel HQ into Turkey. And that was about that. I have to check. The Italians might have an attack. No, they do it naval, so they won't have an attack. But over here in the Asia, we do have an attack. The Japanese did a combined, and that should be flipped over. Okay, so we have a ground attack here, right here. So the Chinese are going to intercept with their aces, and the Japanese will counter-intercept with their fighter. So we'll have an air battle to start off with. And let's see what we got here. We got a Japanese fighter, we got a Chinese fighter, and we have 2 Japanese bombers. It's going to be on the +2, -2. Okay, I got to find there it is. Okay, I have to find my dice. Alright, so the Chinese roll first on the -2. And they get, that's a 12, and they might as well forget it. On the -2, a 12 is attacker clears through any one defending bomber, so at least one bomber is getting through. And we'll clear through this guy. Now the Japanese roll, they roll a 3 of all things. See that right there? I got a 3 on the +2. 3 is AX. The Chinese fighter is shot down. The pilot does live. But that's going to be the end of that air battle. I'm thinking that Chinese fighter is probably going to get scrapped. And then we got 2 bombers doing, with 2s, doing a ground assault on these guys right here. Okay, so we're going to roll 2 dice for each of them, starting with the left, moving to the right. So the 3-3, the 3-4, and then the 1-5. So 2 dice, 1 dice for each bomber. First unit is nothing. Second unit is nothing. And the last unit is nothing. Well, I have to say, at least they're consistent. I think one of these was here. Okay, now we got ground support. We got 1 point of ground support going in. On that attack, I'll just flip it over. There's no interception or anything. And we have a 3-1 on the assault table. We'll use HQ support, which is going to give us a +1. That's not good for the Japanese. 3-1 +1. Now, we'll roll a die and find out. 3-1 +1. Holy cow, the Japanese are finally coming through. All those die rolls that they choked on, they're actually getting some worthwhile now. 3-1 +1 is a 10. On the assault table is cross 2S. So 2 Chinese units are destroyed. 1 is shattered. I think, surprisingly, I think we're going to shatter the infantry army. Kill the other 2. Because the infantry army costs more than the other 2. Okay, that's good. I'm going to take care of that. With the occupying the hex, there's probably going to be a lot of units that are going to flip over. I'll just do it. I'll occupy the hex. I got to flip over at least half the Japanese units. And when I come back, we're going to roll weather again and proceed with the next set of impulses. I'm sorry, I almost forgot about the U-boats and the Faros Gap. We have to do that before we move on to the next set of impulses. So, let's roll search dice. Now it's raining, so it's going to get a +1. A 10 and a 7, yeah, and I don't think so. Alright. Okay, now we will roll weather. There's no modifier to this die. This is the March-April. Let's see what we get. We got a 6. Storm, Arctic, rain, and everything else stays the same. So the Arctic switches over to storm, everything else stays the same, and we will move into the next set of impulses. Alright, I'll be back with a summary and see if anything happens. Okay, press the record button. So we've got a possible naval battle down here. We got the Commonwealth sorted their fleet. They got the Force H from Alexandria here and the Gibraltar fleet here. The Free French came along to help out. And I rolled the search dice, and the search dice came up 8 and 5. So what happened is that because there are convoys in the convoy box, the 4 box for the Italians found them. But the Commonwealth, nobody found anything. There's not enough ranged air units to help out anybody in any particular box. So we're going to have a battle in the convoy box. I got to figure that out in a minute, as well as any potential surprise points. And I'll be back in a second. Okay, this is what we got going on. We got inflicted on the Commonwealth, 1 sunk, 1 damaged, 1 aborted. Inflicted on the Italians, 1 abort. And that's after taking into account the surprise points. So we'll do the abort on the Italians first. The Commonwealth picks it. Wow, well, we should try to get rid of something. We'll take the, whatever that cruiser is, Gilapsio. That is an 8. The Italians roll for that. They roll a 5. Unfortunately, that cruiser will be aborted. It's actually a light cruiser. Now against the Commonwealth, the first sunk is going to be 3 convoy points. Then the Commonwealth gets to pick a damaged. Well, I guess we could pick the 1 convoy point. That will be damaged. And then the aborted is going to be this cruiser right here, I guess. He'll be aborted. Oops, it's a green die. And he's not aborted. He's half aborted. But that's the end of that round. So now we roll switch dice again. Let's see what we get. Oh, it's getting worse and worse for the Commonwealth. We rolled a 3 and a 7. A 3 and a 7. Now I gotta figure that out. So there's naval air involved right here. So that's definitely going to be included in the convoy. This die gets a -1 because there are amphibious units here. But even so, all the Italian units are going to be included. And they can basically pick 1 Commonwealth unit to engage. So I got to figure this out. And I will be back in a second. Okay, after I did all the math and everything, the Italians ended up with 8 surprise points, and they're going to use 4 to choose a surface action. And we have 27 surface points for the Commonwealth with 10 ships, and 97 surface points for the Italians with 25 ships. And we're going to have 4 sunk Commonwealth ships and 1 aborted. We're going to have 1 sunk Italian ship, 1 damaged, and 3 aborted. So we're going to do the Italians first. I think the Commonwealth is going to pick the Roma. And she's going to go after the Roma first for a sunk. The Italians need to roll better than a 2. And at this point they rolled a 4. So it's not sunk, it's damaged. Okay, now the Italians will pick a ship to be damaged. I think they're going to pick the San Gregorio cruiser. It's this ship right here for a damage. Got to roll better than a 6 not to have her damaged. We roll a 5. She is damaged. Now there are 3 aborted. Commonwealth is going to pick the Vittorio Veneto. Italians got to roll better than a 2. They don't, so it's actually aborted. And let's see, the Italians will pick. They're going to pick one of these subs, I guess. That guy for an abort. He's a 9. He definitely gets aborted. And last, the Commonwealth gets to pick. They're going to pick another battleship with Laterio. See, they're trying to get rid of the Italian battleships. That's a 2. The Italians did make that roll a roll of 6, so it will not be aborted. Try and knock over a stack. It's a half abort, which goes back to being nothing. Okay, so that's it for the... Okay, so these two guys are aborted. He's got to go back. He's going to go back. And these two are damaged. They can stay for now. Well, they have to stay, actually. And now we do the Italians. All right, we have 4 sunk. We're going to start with a Royal Sovereign. That's a 4. The Commonwealth has to roll better than a 4 not to have it sunk. They roll a 10, it's damaged. Now the Commonwealth has to pick a ship. That's the wrong pile, I'm sorry. No, that's the right pile. Oh, jeez, getting confused here. They're going to pick the Cruiser Series. I think that's a monitor, actually. But, yeah. So, they need better than an 8. Nope, it goes down. The Italians are going to pick the Royal Sovereign again. Even another damage is going to sink it, and it sinks. And the last ship to be picked, the Commonwealth will pick the Cardiff. That's an 8. And it is sunk. Now we have 1 abort, and the Italians are going to pick the worst bit. Try to get her out of there. Got to roll better than a 3. They roll a 1. It's aborted. So it's going home. And that's it for that round. This is actually the Commonwealth's turn. So she has to roll search dice to see if there's another round. Let's see what we get. Well, it just keeps piling up worse and worse. We got a 2 for the Italians and a 3 for the Commonwealth. So the Force H will not be included. All the Italian ships are going to be included. Only the I forgot to include. That's okay. That's all right. So only the ships here will be included in this fleet for the Commonwealth. No, there's a -1 to the die because of the transport. So everything is included. Everything is included in this battle. Surprise points are going to be 1 surprise point for the Commonwealth. They're going to pick, well, it's a choice, and I think the Italians want an air battle this time because they're a little bit outnumbered by the Commonwealth, and they'd rather take their chances in the air. So I'm going to figure that out and be back in a second. Okay, so we had a little bit of an air battle, and the fighters got aborted, and the bombers got through. So I'm going to figure out what the anti-aircraft's going to be, which is going to be pretty intense. I don't even know if any of the bombers will survive, but I'll do that, and I'll come back, I'll roll those anti-aircraft, and then if there's any attacks, anything left, they'll press their attacks home. Okay, for the Italians, we have the lowest 2 out of 6 dice. That's going to be at least 2 points, which is going to take all their air to sea factors. Lowest 2 out of 6 dice. The lowest one there is 1. 2, so that's 2. That's going to be 2 air to sea factors. He's going away. And against the Italians, we have the lowest 2 out of 5 dice. So we'll roll these 5. That's a 3. There's 2 3s here. One more die. 2 3s, that's 6. 6 points. 6 anti-aircraft. Destroy 1 CVP. And that leaves 1 air sea. That means, okay, so the Italians lost theirs. Okay, he's gone. And the remaining float plane naval bomber has 2 air-to-sea factors. 2 whole air-to-sea. Wow. How many ships we got? A lot. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 21, 22, 23, 23 ships. 23 ships. 23 ships. Okay. 2 aborts. We get to abort 2 ships. All right. I like that. Okay, we're going to try and abort the Sussex. That's a 6. The Commonwealth is going to roll better than a 6. They do not. It is a... No, I rolled an 8, so it is half aborted. And the Commonwealth will pick the Ramillies. No, they'll pick the Queen Elizabeth because it's a 3, so it's going to be hard to abort that ship. And we rolled a 4, so it does not get aborted. So the results of the air attacks were a big nothing. And we'll roll search dice. See if there's another round. 1 and a 9. Yes, it looks like the Commonwealth found them. I gotta figure this out. Be back in a second. Okay, after doing all the math and calculating the massive amount of surprise points that the Commonwealth got, the numbers come out. We have 63 surface points for the Commonwealth and 23 ships. We have 80 surface points for the Italians and 30 ships. But after adjustments for all the surprise points, we're going to have the Italians suffer 6 sunk, 3 damaged, 3 aborted. And the Commonwealth is going to get 3 sunk, 2 damaged, and 2 aborted. So we're going to do the Italians first. They're gonna pick the Roma, which is already damaged. It's going to be sunk no matter what, because another damage is going to sunk it and it goes down. Then the Italians get to pick one. They're going to pick their sub, and that's sunk. And we got 4 more sunks. The Commonwealth will pick this cruiser. It's already damaged, so we know it's going to be sunk, but that's good. Yeah, he would have saved it, but it goes down. Now the Italians are going to pick one. They're going to pick this little cruiser right here. It's an 8. It's damaged. It's only damaged. And so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got 2 more. So now it's the Commonwealth's pick. They're going to try to get rid of the Quelio Diaz. That's a 5. And they do. It goes down. And finally, the Italians will pick. They'll pick the Diaz. No, that's wrong. I did that wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, this is correct. Okay, the Diaz. It's sunk. Now we got 3 damaged. It's the Italians' pick. No, it's the Commonwealth's pick. Commonwealth is going to try to get rid of the Littorio. That's a damage. The Italians need to roll better than a 2. They do. So it's only half it's only aborted. And another damage, the Commonwealth will pick, let's go for another battleship, the Andrea Doria. Pick the Andrea Doria. That is a 5. It is not. It's only aborted. And the last damage goes to the Italians. They'll try, oops, sorry about that. They'll try the Zara. It is damaged. It's damaged. And now 3 aborts. Let's see here. We're going to cut this one here, whatever that is. Kelio Caesar for an abort. It's aborted. They're wrecking the Italian fleet. The next abort, I'll pick this one, the damaged one. It's aborted. I know, it's only half aborted. And the last abort, we'll pick that one, and now it is aborted. Wow. Okay, now for the Italians, they got 3 sunk, 2 damaged, and 2 aborts. They're going to start out with the Queen Elizabeth for a sunk. That is a 3. And that is sunk. The Commonwealth will pick one. For a sunk, they'll go with this little DoDIII cruiser. Oh, I just scattered those. Ah, damn. But that is the equivalent of a sunk. And the last one, we will pick, the Italians will pick the Renown. Yes, that's a 4. We'll try to get rid of that one. The Renown, 6. He saves. He's only damaged. Now we got damages. We got 2 damages. The British will pick first. They'll pick the Cumberland for a damage. It's damaged. Then the Italians will pick the Renown again. It's going to sink it because the damage, 2 damages is a sunk. And finally, 2 aborts. The Commonwealth will pick this damaged guy for an abort, and he's only half aborted. The Italians will pick the Sussex to abort. It is only half aborted, so it doesn't count. I think at this point, the Italians would like to go home. They really got their clock cleaned here. And, yeah, they don't want any more of this. They'd like to go home. So that's going to wrap up this, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, now we get to do enemy searches during the Democrats' impulse. So the fascists are going to try to initiate a battle in the Forest Gap. I'll roll search dice. 7 and a 9, that doesn't cut it, sorry. So the results of that battle in the Western Mediterranean, we had one modern Italian battleship get sunk and 1 older Italian battleship get sunk. And the Commonwealth lost 3 older battleships. So overall, I think the Commonwealth might have come out a little bit on that one. Anyway, they stopped the invasion of Gibraltar, which they really can't afford to lose that. They don't really want to lose that. So I think that's it for the democracies. I got to take a look at China real quick, and I'll go look at that. And when we come back, the communists are not going to do anything, so we'll come back with the fascist impulse. Okay, we're at the fascist impulse. The Italians, for their impulse, have decided to do a land. They got a ground strike right here. Nothing will be going on in Asia this turn, or this set of impulses. We got a ground strike. We're going to try to strike them. So I think there's 2 units there. Yes, it's 2 units. So the red will be the top unit and the green will be the bottom. We're looking for 2s. We got a pair of 3s. That's lovely. Now, we have 21 to 5. That's a 4 to 1. That's going to be on the Blitzkrieg table. HQ benefits. Offsetting HQ benefits. So 4 to 1 on the Blitzkrieg table. 4 to 1. Yeah. We have armor, so there's a +1. 4 to 1 +1. We roll a 5. That becomes a 6. 6 is cross B. We don't kill anything. Half our units are flipped over, but these guys are shattered. So I'll take care of that. Move everything when I gotta move, and I'll be back in a second with the rest of the fascist impulse. Alright, search dice for the first gap. 5 and a 3. Well, though these guys found something. Oh, actually it's raining. It's raining. There's a -2 to this die, but a +1, so that's 4. There's a +1 to that die, so they did find something, but the U-boats don't have to engage. So too bad, so sad. Unless the Commonwealth wants to do a convoy sub-battle, I don't think they want to do that. The U-boats, however, will be doing search and seizure this particular turn. So that's going to be it for that, and I think that's the end of the fascist impulse. No, the Germans, they took a land, so they will be moving some stuff around. I got to check in the Near East and see what's going on there. I'll be back in a second. Okay, this is the first impulse the turn can end. The fascists roll. They need a 1. Not that they want it. A 10 doesn't do it. We'll move up 2, and the Democracies will roll weather. There's no modifier to this die roll, so we'll see what we get. Oh, we got a 10. That's a fair weather everywhere. Ooh, fair weather everywhere. Fair weather everywhere. And the impulse marker moves up 1 now. Alright. Back in a second. Okay, the Germans have come out to play in the Pharaoh's Gap. Oh, what am I saying? The Bay of Biscay. They come out to play. We're going to roll some search dice, see what we get. This is fair weather now. We got fair weather. So what we get? Ooh, maybe things have gotten reversed. We rolled a 1 and a 9. I'm going to figure that out. Surprise points and all that stuff. And we're probably going to have us a nice naval battle right here. I don't know if it might be air to sea. I don't know. I got to figure out the surprise points. I'll be back in a second. First up, we have a nice air battle, which is 3.3 versus 3.3. It's going to be on the 0 chart. Commonwealth will roll first. They get a lovely 9, which is attacker clears through anyone defending bomber. I left the German bombers down here because I won't be able to remember what boxes they're in. So they're going to clear through this one. What I'll do is I'll just move them down as whatever happens to them. And the Germans will roll. Oh, 19. On the 0 box is an AX. Attacker destroys defender's front fighter or front bomber. We will destroy their front fighter. And the pilot is killed. Now the Commonwealth will roll. They roll an 8. 8 is defender abort. Defender aborts own front fighter or front bomber. Jesus. I guess a defender abort. So that's the Commonwealth that rolled. They're the attacker. So the defender will abort their front fighter. He'll go fly home to the carrier. Now the Germans can roll. They roll a 4. Wow. Wow, something's happening here. AX. Attacker destroys defender's front fighter or front bomber. This pilot is not killed. So they're going to destroy the front fighter. And the Commonwealth will get a credit for a pilot on that guy. Now, it's a German fighter against the Commonwealth's bombers. Not really good. Alright, so we're on the -2 chart now. I gotta get a dice box or something. -2 chart for the Commonwealth. And that's going to be a 7. -2, 7. Defender abort. Defender aborts on front fighter or bomber. Well, we'll abort our front fighter. But not before we roll. Not before we roll. And we roll a 4 again. Well, that's pretty damn good. That's on the +2 column. Attacker destroys defender's front fighter or bomber. Well, we'll just take out their front bomber. That's the end of that. Okay, that was the big air battle. So all the remaining bombers get through. So all the bombers get through. The fighters got hosed. So we're going to have Commonwealth didn't find anybody. Do they get to airstrike? I don't know. I have to check that out. Okay, we're at the anti-aircraft point. The Commonwealth gets the lowest 2 out of 5 dice, and the Germans get the lowest 1 out of 3 dice, and they still are retaining 2 surprise points. The lowest 1 out of 3 dice. So we'll do the Commonwealth first. We've got 5 dice to roll. Well, there's a 1. 1 more die. And another 1. All right, that's 2 1s. 2 1s. So that's two air to sea factors aborted. All right, and now the Germans get the lowest of 3 dice. 3 dice. We'll roll 3 dice. Oops, I just knocked over another stack. Lowest of 3 dice, and the lowest of 3 dice is a 2. So that's going to be the same thing. 2 air to sea aborted. Alright, so we'll do the Commonwealth's torpedo runs first. They're going to have 3 air to sea against, it's like 28, that's 16, 17, 18, 21 ships. 21 ships, 22 ships. Oops, I forgot these. There's another 5 air to sea. That would have been 34, would have been 39 instead. Does that move me up a column? Yes, it does. Damn. I'll just leave it. Whatever. They lost some advantage for that. Somebody forgot to load the guns. Alright, so 2 air to sea factors. So they have 3 air to sea factors against 20. 2 air to sea factors. It looks like 1 damaged, 1 aborted. 1 damaged, 1 aborted. So let's see. They will pick for the damage. They're going to go for a big boy. The Gneisenau. Yeah, let's get rid of that tuppy head. So I roll a die. Oh, and she saved. So she's only aborted instead of damaged. So I'll flip it over. And now the Germans. It's 2 aborted. They pick an abort. So they will pick Nuremberg. Roll a die for the Nuremberg. Rolling the wrong color die. It is not aborted. It's half aborted. But the Commonwealth will get rid of it by rolling on it again, and now it is aborted. So the Nuremberg is aborted. So it's 2 German ships aborted. Now we have 3, 6, 9, 10 air to sea factors against, I didn't add them up, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 27 ships. 10 air to sea against 27 ships. That is, oh, and we're going to bump it up one. 2 sunk, 2 damaged, and 1, oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong column. 2 sunk, 2 damaged, and 3 aborted. 2 sunk, 2 damaged, and 3 aborted. All right, for sunky sunks, we're going after your carriers. We're going to sink the Indomitable. Go after that guy. He's a 6. And he is sunk. Down he goes. Now the British got to pick one to sink. Let's see. Cheap cruiser. All right, this guy. The DoDIII. He's an 8. And he is sunk. Now we got 2 damaged. Again, we're going to go after a carrier. For damage, that's a 5. He is only half damaged. And no, it means he's aborted. He's aborted. And then the Commonwealth will pick another junky cruiser. This guy, the Caracal, whatever it is. When was it built? 1916, perfect. For damage, he needs an 8. Nope, he's damaged. He is damaged. I'm going to put him here in case we have another round. And then we got 3 aborts. We're going to abort the Victorious. And it is aborted. The Commonwealth will pick the Newcastle. It's a heavy cruiser. It's a 6. It is aborted. And then we got one more abort. We'll pick another carrier, the Furious. The Ferocious. That's a 7. Got to roll better than a 7. You do. It's only half aborted, which means it's not going to be aborted at all. So the Commonwealth has 2 carriers left. That will fit on there. Airplanes will go back. All these guys got aborted. They all have to go home. There's 2 German ships that aborted. They have to go home as well. And that's that. And then we're going to roll search dice and see what happens again. Now, let's see. There's not going to be any air power involved. No, we could have air power involved. Let's roll search dice. Where's my dice? How about I just point it over there? All right, we rolled a 4 and a 6. 6 for the Commonwealth, 4 for the fascists. I'll figure that out and be right back in a second. Okay, the Germans have decided to engage the 4 box for the Commonwealth and air to sea. This guy is just plain sunk. There's no way he's going to do anything. He does have 2 anti-aircraft. 2 anti-aircraft against 4 airplanes. 4 airplanes. 2 anti-aircraft is the lowest of 4 dice. Yeah, okay, a 3. Yeah, he's going to abort 3 air-to-sea factors. You're looking at 6, 7 air-to-sea against 1 ship. 7 air-to-sea, and we have, okay, 7 air, so there's 2 sunks. 2 sunks is a sunk. You're sunk. He's going to be sunk. You don't have any choice. So, now the Commonwealth's got to decide if they want to abort and just call it a day. We've lost 2 carriers, a whole bunch of aircraft. I'm going to get pilots for them. I think we'll abort. We'll go home and fight another day. And we'll leave the sea zone in the hands of the fascist. I almost forgot. We still have to do a search roll for the Faros Gap. A 5 and a 10. I think these subs found them. Maybe those. I gotta check it. Because that's 4, 3. No, these guys, only these guys found them. So I'll figure that out. I'll be back in a second. Okay, after all the surprise points and everything, we come up with 1 abort for the subs and 1 sunk and 2 damages for the convoys. So we'll do the subs first. Let's see. Well, we really want to get rid of 1, so let's pick that guy. He's a 9. I got 1 die, so I'll probably roll it right here, and he does abort. So he's going to be aborted. And then for the Commonwealth, we got, what did I say we have? 1 sunk and 2 damage. We're going to sink 3 convoy points, obviously. Yep. Okay. And then for the one of the damages, the Commonwealth will pick one of the cruisers. One of this guy, this Norwegian dude. He's an 8. And he's only half damaged. He's aborted. I'm sorry, he's aborted. And then the Germans will pick another damage. They will damage 3 more convoy points. I have to go find some change. Actually, I don't. I'll just put it over here. I can't do that. Those have not been allocated yet. I got to go find some change. 3 damage. Actually, I don't have to find change. There we go. Perfect. And that is that. And then let's roll search dice for round 2. Oh, he gets to sail home. Round 2, we got a 3 and an 8. Uh-oh. That means all the subs found him this time. I got figured out. All right, I figured it all out. The Commonwealth are going to suffer 2 sunk, 1 damaged, 1 abort. The Germans are going to get 1 sub aborted. So we'll do the Germans first. Let's see. We'll try to abort this guy right here. And indeed, he is aborted. Slowly getting rid of him, but suffering catastrophic losses because I can't roll dice for crap. All right, 2 sunk. We'll sink all 3 tankers. And the Commonwealth will pick, might as well pick the last convoy point. It's cheaper than losing some of them ships. Germans will pick a damage. We'll damage this Australian cruiser. Get the right die here. They need a 7. Nope, he's damaged. Okay, so he's damaged. I don't think the Commonwealth is gonna. Now we got 1 abort. We'll abort that cruiser. He doesn't. He's a half aborted, but the Commonwealth's gonna fully abort. And they're gonna do that because there's really nothing left for them to engage. And yeah, the Americans are going to get search and seized, which means the Commonwealth is going to owe 4 build points that they received the last turn. Oh, actually, they won't receive. They're supposed to receive it this turn, but they're not going to. But the U.S. will still have to pay it. All right, last thing we're going to do. We're going to roll a die to see if we end the impulse. The Italians. The Italians can't do anything because half their army was flipped over. And we have 8 points in the hex we can attack, and we have 8 points. We have 5, 6, 7. I'm sorry, we have 11. So 1-to-1, no, I don't want to do that. I don't really want to do that. So nope. So okay, so I will roll a die to see if we end the impulse. Where's the dice? Right here. No, the impulse continues. I'll roll weather. The weather roll is an 8. Rain in the Arctic. Fair everywhere else. The impulse marker moves up 2. And let's see, what do the democracies want to do? Pray for rain. And they're not getting it though. Okay, I'm going to come back with a summary of the democracies and probably come back on the fascist impulse. Okay, we're back to the fascist impulse. The Commonwealth just moved, then the Free French just moved a few units around in Africa, trying to patch up the situation in Egypt. They kind of, okay. The naval thing, okay. I can't really do much about that. At least we thwarted the invasion of Gibraltar. But now we got an air battle over London. So we got +2, -2. The Germans are +2. The Commonwealth is -2 because Germany took an air impulse. And somewheres is a green die. It's over here. So we got the Commonwealth rolls first. They roll an 11. That's the worst roll you can get. On the -2 is defender clears through any one bomber. Well, let's see. We'll clear through the one that's a 4. Alright, so now the Germans roll on the +2. They roll a 3. Jesus. Things have turned around big time. 3 is AX. Attacker destroys defender's front fighter or front bomber. So the Commonwealth Lend-Lease fighter from America just got shot down. Oh, I hit that. My device is dying right now, so I have it plugged into a charger, so I can't move it around too much. So now we got 4 versus 6.7.4. So that's still going to be +2, -2. Looking at it from the Commonwealth's perspective. Should I even continue? Yep. We'll go until we don't have any fighters left at all. On the -2, the Commonwealth rolls, oh, Jesus, another 11. Okay, defender clears through another bomber. Should have quit while we were ahead. We'll clear through this guy. No, we'll clear through this guy. Yes, that's what we'll do. Now Germany rolls. They rolled a pair of 9s, which is 18. Jesus. What the heck is going on here? Attacker killed. And this is going to kill the pilot. So the Hurricane pilot is dead, and he's probably going to get scrapped. And now, excuse me, all the German bombers go through. They have to face 8 anti-aircraft factors. We have 5 bombers. Let's figure out what that's going to do. 8 anti-aircraft against 5 bombers is the lowest of 2 dice. So I'll roll 2 dice. Get my dice over here. Roll 2 dice. It's the lowest of these 2 dice. A 3 and a 7. So 3 air to sea factors are aborted. That doesn't mean squat on strategic bombing. So let's see what Germany has. They got 7, 10, 13, 16 factors bombing London. There's no pluses to this because 16. All right, we roll 1 die. Roll 1 die. And we roll a 7. A 7 is 3 production points destroyed. So I will note that down. 3 production points destroyed. Where's my sheet? see, W minus 3. I gotta land all the German bombers, and before I do that, let's roll to see if the turn ends. We are on a 4 right now. Do that. I roll the 6. That's a no good. That's a no good. So we move to the Democracies. Will roll weather. Roll the 3 for weather. At least the weather turned to crap. Snow, snow. Snow, snow, rain, rain, storm, and rain. And the impulse marker will now move up 3. All the Democracies are going to take a pass. They want out of this turn in the worst possible way. So that's going to make the end of turn die roll a 6. They rolled a 9. They can't catch a break, can they? All right. Before I do that, we're going to move on to the Communists. They're also all going to pass. They don't want the Democrats just completely disintegrating at this point. So, geez, you know, I have no place left to roll dice. They ended the turn. Yay! However, the fascists didn't get a chance to go. So that will move the Democracies back down into the ideological initiative box modifier to a 0. All right, I got to land everything. Before I do that, because this thing is just about to die, it's at 12%. I got it plugged in right now. Let's roll partisans. Can do that. Where is he? Where? Here we are. Partisan table. All right, let's roll the partisans. Oh, it's a 10. Norway. Norway's going to be a no because stuff got moved around. There's 2 units in there. It's a 4. It was conquered less than a year, so that's a 2. England, France. France has been under the gun for more than a year now. So we have a 15. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we get to roll a die for France. Get to roll a die for France. No, we needed a 2. We got a 4. Yugoslavia, no. Canada. Africa. We'll roll for South Africa. South Africa. South Africa gets a partisan. USA, USSR. Neither of those are applicable. So I got to give 1 partisan to South Africa. And before I cut this and go do production, let's do U.S. entry. The white is the Japanese, the green are the Italians, and the red are the Germans. White is the Japanese. That's going to be a big... Yeah, that's going to be pretty good. That's going to be a pretty good. All right, let's see. 9... Let me grab that. Nine becomes 11 in the span. That's 14, which is a 13. That's going to be a +4 for Japan. Yeah, see, it does move up quick. The Italians is a 7, which is going to be a 9. It's going to be a +2 for Italy. And Germany is a 5. It's either 39, 40, not quite 2 years, so +1, +3. That's an 8, +2 for Germany. Okay, now I come back, I'm going to do production, and we'll go over that. Production for this turn, we have Germany producing 34. She started with 31 and spent 30. Japan produced 20, started with 16 and spent 16. Italy produced 9, started with 9, spent 8. The Soviets produced 22, started with 20 and spent 20. I don't know what they spent. For some reason I wrote down 0. I think that's a 20. Oh, yeah, I think that's a 20. So they spent 20, DoDIII. Yes, that's exactly what it is. I guess I didn't write the other two. All right, the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth produced 12. Yeah, their production's getting hammered. The Axis really had a good turn. It's like one of the first turns they've really had a good turn on them. They started with 0 and spent 3. All they did was build 3 convoy points. The U.S. produced 28, started with 17 and spent 17. China produced 3, started with 3 and spent 4. The Free French started with, they produced 1, started with -3 and spent 4. They're finishing their transport. There was a loss of 5 Lend-Lease points in total this turn. The die rolls for that came out with a nit and nit, so there was no adjustment to U.S. entry. But I'll get these reinforcements put on the circle. I'd like to thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and I will see you next time.